Okay, so let's dive right in. Today, we're doing a deep dive looking at this single, really compelling first-person account.
Mm-hmm. And it drops you straight into this world, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This small town, Brownville, California. Quiet, but yeah, unsettling somehow.
Brownville itself feels important here. You mentioned it's small, not many young people.
That's what the narrator tells us, yeah. But it draws summer visitors. They come for the healthy air, you know, beautiful hills, lots of trees.
Sort of a health spot. And our narrator is right in the thick of it.
Absolutely. The town's only teacher living in the boarding house where these visitors stay. So they see everything.
That positioning is just crucial, isn't it?
It really is.
Mm.
This whole story hinges on what the teacher sees, the strange events that start happening when these, well, unusual visitors arrive.
So our goal here for this deep dive is really to unpack all that. Not just the plot, but the feelings, the interactions.
Exactly. What the narrator picks up on, how that sense of unease builds, how it foreshadows the tragedy to come. We want to pull out the key insights.
Insights about perception, maybe manipulation, things hidden under the surface.
Because it starts looking like a simple story about summer guests, but, it takes a dark turn fast. Secrets, deaths that seem suspicious, really questionable relationships.
Okay, so let's set the first scene. Narrator's walking home, end of the school term.
Yeah, familiar path, through the forest on the hill, evening, sun setting, long shadows. Sounds peaceful.
Sounds idyllic, like you'd expect in Brownville.
It should be. But then, voices. A woman's sounding angry, and a man's voice. Deep, musical, like a singer, hidden by the trees.
And what they're saying is not peaceful at all.
No. The man says very flatly, don't threaten me, you can do nothing, don't try to change anything, or you'll both suffer.
Wow. Straight to threats.
Direct threat. And the woman, her voice sounds cultivated. She asks him point blank, do you mean that you'll murder us?
Chilling question. And his response?
Silence. The source says he gives no reply. That silence is just heavy.
So the narrator wants to get away, obviously, but can't avoid seeing them.
Right. Spots them through the trees. The description's brief but vivid. Man in black, tall, slim, woman in pale gray.
And then this image.
Yeah, this is what really sticks. The woman is kneeling on the ground in front of him, hands together. Is she begging, praying he won't hurt her? You just don't know.
That ambiguity is so powerful, even before we know who they are. That image, that overheard threat, it sets this really dark tone, pure foreshadowing.
It's incredibly efficient storytelling, isn't it? That one brief encounter completely shifts the mood. It tells you right away this isn't just a summer vacation story.
So the next morning, things start to connect. Breakfast at the boarding house, new guests.
Two young women, sisters, very similar, pretty. And the narrator realizes the younger sister's voice. That was the woman on the path, the angry one.
The one asking about murder, okay.
And then the man appears. He's in the garden, singing. And it is a trained voice, strong, beautiful. He's singing La Donna e Mobile.
Pop opera in the garden of a Brownville boarding house seems dramatic.
A bit jarring, yeah.
Yeah.
The narrator finds it out of place.
And then there's another encounter in the garden.
Later, yes. The narrator sees the elder sister, Pauline, with the singer. He's in black again. He turns, looks right at the narrator.
In a narrator field.
Instant fear. Describes him as dark, handsome, maybe 50, but just dangerous, unequivocally.
Wow.
That he puts his hand on Pauline's arm, turns her away, and they go inside. No word. It feels deliberate, like control or dismissal.
That look, that gesture, it really cements his presence, doesn't it? And the feeling of unease, like he's warning the narrator off.
But thankfully, help is on the way in the form of local gossip.
Ah, the landlady. Every small town needs one.
The unofficial historian, exactly. She spills the beans. The young women are Pauline and Eva Maynard from San Francisco. Pauline's the elder, the man, Richard Benning. They're guardians since their father died.
Guardian. Okay, and there's money involved.
Bingo. They inherit their father's money when they turn 21. And the landlady mentions Eva isn't well. Benning claims the Brownville air is vital for her health.
Convenient health issues.
The landlady wonders about that, too. Says Benning spends a lot on them and himself. She asks aloud, basically, is he spending their inheritance?
That connects right back to the forest threat, doesn't it? Don't try to change anything or you'll both suffer. Suddenly the money angle makes that threat feel very real.
Yeah, it starts to paint this picture. A guardian, wealthy wards, one supposedly frail sister, and a man warning them not to rock the boat. You start asking, how much is this poor health just a way to keep them isolated under his thumb?
Right, so summer vacation starts, narrator's walking the hills, sees them around.
And for a bit, they actually seem happy. The source says the narrator almost forgot that scary forest encounter, which shows you how easily appearances can fool you, maybe.
Or how much we want to believe things are okay.
But that feeling doesn't last. One morning, bang, Brownville is buzzing. Pauline Maynard, the older sister, is dead.
Just like that, sudden.
Very sudden. People gather at the boarding house. The narrator goes into the sitting room. Pauline's in a coffin, looks peaceful like she's sleeping. Eve is beside her, weeping. Then Benning arrives.
And this is a key moment, isn't it?
Huge. Benning pushes through the crowd, tries to take Eva's hand. But she pulls away, stands up, and cries out right at him. It's you. You've done this. You.
A public accusation, directly linking back to her asking him in the forest if he'd murder them.
Exactly. But Benning, he's smooth, soft voice, dismisses it as shock, grief. But then he approaches her and does something really weird.
What does he do?
Moves his hand slowly in front of her face, just once. And immediately her eyes close. She goes still. The narrator describes it like she's been shut down, or maybe conditioned.
That sounds incredibly creepy, almost hypnotic.
It really does. He takes her hand, puts his arm around her, she starts weeping again, and he leads her out. That one gesture just quashes her public defiance completely.
It's such a stark display of his control over her, not just persuasion, something deeper, more physical or psychological.
Yeah, how quickly he shuts down that accusation is really telling. Suggests serious conditioning.
So a few days pass, there's an inquest.
Right. Benning testifies, a doctor, others, the official verdict. Heart disease.
Heart disease, despite Eva yelling, "You did this," in front of everyone.
The system accepts the natural causes explanation. Benning gets an undertaker from San Francisco. Pauline's body is taken away for burial there.
And another odd detail emerges.
Neither Benning nor Eva go to the funeral back in the city.
Which seems strange.
The landlady provides Benning's reason.
Poor Eva's health again. City air would be bad for her. Better stay in Brownville.
Always the health angle, keeping her isolated.
Exactly. It's his go-to excuse.
Okay, so a week after Pauline's death, another garden scene.
Yeah, narrator goes out one evening, sees Benning and Eva under a tree, holding hands, looking into each other's eyes.
How does the narrator react to that?
On the surface, the narrator notes it looks very gentle and romantic, but their gut feeling is immediate. But it was wrong. The age gap, he's 50, she's not even 20, and him being her guardian. It just feels disturbing. Should be fatherly, not romantic.
Understandable reaction.
Yeah.
And they overhear something. Yes, hidden in the shadows again, and it's horrifying. Eva speaks first. She says, "You will kill me. I know that you killed Pauline. I beg you to kill me quickly. Let me go. Let me be at peace."
Oh my God. She knows he killed her sister, and she's begging him to kill her.
Directly. A confession of her belief and this desperate plea for death. And Benning?
What does he do?
Silence. Again.
Yeah.
Let's go overhand, just walks away up the hill towards the forest, singing.
Singing. What's he singing?
La donna è mobile. That same opera aria again. His voice sounding beautiful and wild. The contrast is just grotesque. Her desperate plea, his carefree singing.
That's incredibly disturbing. Eva just watches him go.
Watches him go, hands held together in front of her, just like in the forest that first time, like she's praying. Then the narrator steps out.
Startles her, presumably.
Seems like it. And Eva's reaction is complex, contradictory, soft voice, big bright eyes, a strange expression. Narrator wonders if she's ill or just detached.
So the narrator tries to intervene.
Gently takes her hand, tries to wake her up, metaphorically.
Yeah.
Says, you seem asleep. Talk to me. You said he killed Pauline. He's threatening you. Let me help.
And Eva's response.
Protects him. You can't help me. We'll be here for only a day or two more. Then we'll go away, far away. And then she tells the narrator to be silent. You mustn't talk about anything that you've seen or heard here.
She's actively telling the narrator to cover it up, even her own danger.
Yes. The narrator pushes back, alarmed, says she must tell the police she's in danger.
How does Eva take that?
That jolts her. Her expression changes completely, becomes cold and polite, suddenly defensive. This is my business, not yours. Draws a line.
Wow.
Quite the switch. And when the narrator presses, saying Pauline died here, Benning could be a danger to others, asks if Eva didn't love her sister. Eva gives this absolute devastating reply.
What does she say?
She says, yes, I loved her, but I love him more.
I love him more. More than the sister she believes he murdered. How do you even process that?
It's chilling. It's not rational love, is it? It screams trauma bonding or some kind of extreme psychological manipulation. Like her entire reality, her attachments have been warped by him. It shows how utterly broken down she might be.
So she believes he's a killer, her sister's killer, her future killer, but loves him more. And then she threatens the narrator.
Directly. Do you think that the police will believe you? You heard a secret conversation. If you talk about it, I'll say that your words are lies. No one will believe your story. Cold as ice.
And then she smiles.
A beautiful, sweet smile. Right after the threat. That contrast is just deeply unsettling. It highlights the dissociation maybe, or just how deep the facade runs.
What happens next?
She invites the narrator for a walk, says Benning will be gone all night, asks the narrator to basically forget everything, forget about us. Almost like she's asking for complicity in her own silence.
And the narrator agrees.
Admits they didn't understand women then. Was captivated by her beauty, felt a little in love even. So they agree. Talk about ordinary things, local gossip. Narrator feels happy, asks her to walk to an old mill the next day. She agrees, if he's not here.
It reveals something about the narrator too, doesn't it? Maybe a bit naive or susceptible. Distracted by the surface. Makes you wonder about their perspective.
Definitely. How much are we seeing filtered through that lens, that momentary infatuation or confusion?
So the next morning, the narrator's happy, looking forward to the walk.
Yeah, feels like the happiest man in the world when Eva appears in the garden, meaning Benning must be gone.
That happiness feels so fragile knowing what we know.
It's poignant, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They start walking towards the mill. Eva's quiet at first, then starts singing. Her moods shift rapidly, happy songs, then sad songs, like clouds passing.
Unstable, and they reach the mill.
But she doesn't stop. Crosses the bridge, heads up a higher hill, towards a place called the Eagle's Nest, a path that ends on a cliff edge.
A cliff. Oh, no.
Yeah, high above the forest. Beautiful view, the narrator says, but nerve-wracking. A sheer drop over 200 feet. Eva goes right to the edge, looks up, not down.
This feels like the climax building.
And then footsteps. Richard Benning disappears. Says casually he saw them walking, thought he'd come up too.
He just shows up. Of course he does.
Eva turns towards them, still right on the edge, eyes shining, smiling. The narrator sees a look of love on her face as she looks at Benning. She says, I'm so glad that you came. And the narrator thinks that loving look is real.
But there's more to it.
In the same instant, the narrator sees the contradiction. The smile is there, but her eyes suddenly filled with fear. She looked like a frightened animal. That's the quote. Smile on the lips, terror in the eyes.
That clash. The love and the terror right there together. What does it mean? Is the love real? Twisted as it is? Is it just a final performance? Who is the fear directed at? Him? Herself?
It's that agonizing final moment. So ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
He steps back.
deliberately, off the edge of the cliff, falls. Both men race down. Benning gets there first. Narrator shrinks back from the sight. Says, beautiful Eva was no longer beautiful.
Does Benning try to help her?
He looks at her carefully, but the source makes a point of this. He does not touch her, simply pronounces she's dead, quite dead. Then tells the narrator he'll go get an officer, tells the narrator to stay with the body.
He's immediately taking control of the scene, the narrative.
Completely. As he starts to leave, he turns back and essentially dictates the story to the narrator, who's in shock. You saw what happened. Carelessly. It was an accident. Eva killed herself. I saw her step off the edge of the cliff, and you saw it too.
He's setting up his alibi, making the narrator his witness.
Exactly. But the narrator's shock finally breaks, and they accuse him directly.
What do they say?
You're a killer. You're a damn killer. You didn't touch her, but I know that you killed her. Finally understanding, maybe, that he killed her by driving her to it, not by pushing.
And Benning's reaction to that?
Just turns his back, walks away. And as he goes through the forest, the narrator hears him singing again. That same song, La Donna è mobile. Woman is fickle. It feels like his final cruel comment, or just utter indifference, maybe triumph.
Wow, what a chilling end. So we've followed this whole twisted path. What are the main takeaways here? What does this source really leave us with?
Well, the power of manipulation is huge, isn't it? Especially with isolation, the financial motive. Benning uses it all.
Yeah.
The health excuse, the threats, that weird hand gesture thing, the facade of care. It's systematic.
Yeah, it really shows how manipulation isn't always obvious force. It can be the slow grinding down of someone's will, the reality. Eva's contradictions, the accusations and the love, the begging for death and protecting him. It's just a terrifying picture of that psychological damage.
Mm-hmm. And it also really underscores how limited observation can be, even for someone right there like the narrator. Seeing happy walks, romantic scenes.
Yeah.
but missing the terror underneath until it's explicitly stated. Appearances could be so incredibly deceptive.
And we have to consider the narrator's filter too, right? Or admitted confusion, the brief infatuation. It's a powerful first-person account, but it's filtered through their perspective.
Absolutely. It makes you think hard about agency, Agency when you're under that kind of duress, about destructive relationships and how easily darkness can hide in plain sight.
So, thinking about that final moment, Eva on the cliff, smiling, terrified, stepping back. What was that final act? Was it escape? Was it despair? Was it some horribly twisted act of devotion or obedience drilled into her by Benning?
Or maybe defiance, taking the only control she felt she had left.
It leaves you with so many questions. What does that final awful image really tell us about how deep manipulation can go, or how love itself can be poisoned and twisted by control? Something to really mull over.